Hello and welcome. This is Kathy Berkey.
Hi.
And I'm Judd Hendricks.
Yay.
And we're here to tell you about what it's like to be a table host at the Big Table.
Woohoo!
Thank you. If you're watching this, you've probably already signed up to be a table host. And we want to thank you for that because you are the ones that make it happen.
Yes.
There's no stage, there's no anything else going on except for your folks sitting at your table sharing food and stories. So thank you for making that commitment. And we're going to tell you in this short training video everything you need to know in order to host a table at the Big Table event. We first want to tell you about why we just chose to do the Big Table and why it's so important in this time to have a place where people can come together and meet each other that may not know one another. So, Kathy, what are you excited about the Big Table?
One of the things that makes me so excited about the Big Table is the idea of people from all over Louisville getting to know each other and people just bumping up against one another that wouldn't otherwise. You know, maybe you would see someone in the grocery store that you'd be kind of curious about, but you wouldn't really have time to just sort of strike up a conversation, or it would be sort of awkward. Or, you know, there are people out there that you could meet at the Big Table that you just never would have crossed paths with. And the interconnection that creates for our community, I think, is something that makes us all stronger, stronger together. And so that is one of the things that makes me excited.
We just heard a story last night about, we did this last year, and we heard a story about a group of folks that met, and they continued meeting after the Big Table, and now they've become friends. Yeah, and so that's the opportunity at the Big Table, is for you to meet people you don't know, share food and stories, and let's rebuild the fabric of our community. So thanks for agreeing to be a part of that. So, what happens at the Big Table? And as the table host, we're going to give you some instructions. If you're on the webpage, probably below this video, there is a whole list of instructions for table hosts that you can take a look at. We'll also print that sheet out and have it at the Big Table, so you can have a timeline of what to do and when to do it. Step by step. And that will be in your packet that you receive when you come to the Big Table. So they show up at Iroquois Park at 4 o'clock.
4 p.m.
on Sunday, September the 16th. And Kathy, tell them what they'll do.
Yeah, to give you an idea of what you can expect when you get there, you will first park in one of the main lots at Iroquois Amphitheater. You will see the entrances, and when you do that, you will receive a wristband to be counted toward our official Guinness Book of World Records record for the world's largest potluck. So make sure you're counted as you go in and you get your wristband. A note on that too is just make sure that all of the participants that are at your table also have a wristband, because we want everyone to be counted. But so back of what you will see when you arrive, then you are going to see a huge long line of tables going all the way down the road, but right on the road that's just behind the amphitheater. You will just go down that table or go down that row and then claim a table. That will be the table that you're hosting. And the tables are organized in pods. You'll see them by alternating colors. And your pod is one of 4 tables. There are 4 seating tables with a food table in the middle. So whenever your guests arrive, just invite them to put their food right there on that center table and then have a seat in one of the other tables. You want to describe the seating? Yeah,
so what will happen when people begin to arrive, you welcome them, say, hey, come sit at my table and meet so-and-so, and you'll work with your other table hosts in your pod area to divide up groups. So if it's like a big group, we don't want them to all sit together. So as they're comfortable, maybe you can divide them up. Certain groups can divide and sit at different tables within your pod area. And then once you have kind of a full area, the different tables, you may join tables if you don't have enough people at one table to form a table of 8. And you'll just invite people around 5:15. Now there's a magical time frame from 5:15 to
5:45.
5:45
to 6:15.
To 6:15, and at that point we need everybody to be engaged in the event to be counted for the Guinness Book of World Records. So just kind of make note at that time you want people sitting and participating in the event. That doesn't mean that they can't get up at some point, go to the restroom or go get more food, but they need to be in the area from 5:45 to 6:15 in order to be counted. And so when they get their food, you invite them to come back to your table. And then we have this little conversation game that helps us get to know each other. And so there'll be 3 different sets of cards, 3 different stacks. You'll put those in the middle of your table. And then you'll just go around and each person will draw from a stack. And the stacks will be separated in the level of intimacy of the question. So they get to choose how intimate the question is that they choose. So for example, you might start and you would choose a card and it would be, oh, this is the wild card. The wild card means that the person to your left creates your question. So Kathy, you would get to create my question, but we won't do that today just because this is an example. Anyway, so you go and you spend 3 to 4 minutes answering that question. And so you as a table host kind of invite people into that game. Encourage them to keep their answers around 3 to 4 minutes and make sure everybody gets to participate. If you have children, we like for them to participate, but they may need some encouragement. So as a host, you're kind of facilitating the conversation. If somebody just goes on and on and on, you may encourage them to bring their story to a close. Usually after you go through a round, then the conversation really takes off and people make connections, and you can just encourage that after everybody has a chance to answer their card.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what happens during the main connection event, and it's magic. You'll find it to be really an amazing experience. People can go back and get food. In fact, at the end, after people have shared their stories, you're welcome to go maybe to a next area if you want to see what food they have on their tables and get to know other people at the event. But before your table breaks up, there's some instructions that we, to close down the experience, that we need you as a table host to do.
Yes, so there is a survey that's going to be included in your packet. You'll have a packet with all the materials that you need. There's a survey in there. There's going to be name tags for everyone. One other thing that's in there are allergy cards for each dish. So we're going to have cards that will denote, this contains nuts or this contains dairy, all the different things. So they can just write the name of their dish and then check off what that is, and it'll go with their dish on the food table. The other things in the packet.
Yeah, there's also be an envelope if folks would like to make a donation to the big table. That would be great. That goes to help purchase or rent the tables and the chairs. Also help us to prepare for our next year's event. And also, if anybody would like to make a donation and take home their stack of cards, they're welcome to do that. We hope these Louisville story cards show up in all kinds of different places, and we hope to use those at different events where we're trying to get Louisville to have great conversations with one another. So if somebody would like to purchase those or make a donation, you can put the donation in an envelope and then put that back in your big envelope, and then you can give that to one of the leaders, one of the team members at the end of the event.
One more thing that we need from each table host is a picture of your group. So take a picture, ask another host to take a picture so that you are included in it. It's one of the things that we need for our count, our big official Guinness Book of World Records count. So please please email that to me afterwards, kathy.berkey@gmail.com. And then also it'd be great for you to share it on social media, just to, show all your friends what you've been doing.
Tag it the Big Table 502 and post that all over the place, and we're gonna see if we can we'll download all of those pictures and put them back out and share some of the stories that happen at the Big Table.
Yes. So the next thing to do will be your help with the cleanup. So we ask that each table host take off the covering on your table and then put that in the recycling bins. It'll be paper. Also fold up all of your tables and chairs and put those on the side of the road near the pallet that they will go on. They will all be loaded onto pallets. So if you could stack that for us, and then if anybody could stay behind and help us get those loaded up, that would be fantastic.
That's above and beyond, but if you could stay, that would be great.
Exactly.
At the end, you may encourage people to exchange phone numbers, or if there's folks that would like to get back together, you can help facilitate that happening. There's also going to be a sheet that we're going to need for the Guinness Book of World Records for you to sign to say how many people were sitting at your table from 5:45 to 6:15. So you'll write that on there and then sign that, and we'll turn that in on your behalf to the Guinness Book of World Records to prove how many people were there.
And please, please, please make sure that document is in one of our hands before you leave. It is what we need in order to verify that we did it.
So if you have any questions after seeing this, be sure to look at the webpage for the instructions, and then if you have any questions, our contact information will be on there, and you can contact us with those questions. Again, we want to say thank you. You're the ones that make this happen, and you're helping to make Louisville more welcoming and rebuild the fabric of our community. So thank you for participating, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and if not, we'll see you at 4 o'clock on